Hello, and welcome back to my coin series. Let me explain, guys, why I am so confident that 2024 will witness a huge market upswing, despite the challenging start to the year. Even though I've been saying this for a long, the reality that these things are happening and will soon be here is starting to set in. For this reason, the prospect of future improvements and reinforcements to the XRP ledger is very promising. Investing in the XRP ledger and developing new network features not only makes a huge leap forward, but also increases the asset's worth in the future monetary system because of its scarcity. Before we get into the two innovations that will be discussed in this video, I want to talk about the one that was approved today, clawbacks, and how excited I am about it. Ensuring that the network's voting consensus remains above 80% for the next 2 weeks means that this feature will not be live until February 8th. We just broke the 80 mark earlier today, so if we can maintain that level until the 2-week term ends on February 8th, there will be clawbacks on the XRP ledger. Companies will be able to issue assets on the XRP ledger and then recover them when regulators require them, which is why clawbacks will be crucial to the platform. The fact that banks are subject to stringent rules has obviously hindered their ability to implement blockchain technology. A bank or other financial organization risks severe consequences if it issues a token on the blockchain and subsequently uses that token to finance illegal operations. The bank won't know what to say to the regulator or how to explain the gravity of the problem, because blockchain transactions are irreversible. If the regulators got their hands on that bank, they would ruin it. Therefore, blockchain technology must discover a means to enable these financial institutions to function in a manner compliant with rules. One significant token that allows institutions like governments and banks to issue and recover tokens on the ledger is the XRP ledger. I'd be glad. Kindly keep in mind that this feature will only be available for certain issued assets. It will never be compatible with XRP or any other coin unless you activate the clawback feature. However, this capability will be available to institutions as an option. Ideally, this would pave the way for the development of ustc, the Circle stablecoin, for the XRP ledger. It captivates my interest. I think functionality is really important for big institutions to think about building on the XRP ledger. This modification is now live. Although this is exciting news, the agreement among it won't be solidified for another 2 weeks. In the end, the XRP ledger is getting stronger by the day. Having discussed one aspect of the XRP ledger that has generated much excitement among XRP users, I will now swiftly go over another. Making trading signals using an algorithm. As the automated market maker constructs enormous pools of liquidity, we XRP holders will have the opportunity to utilize our XRP on the XRP ledger and receive dividends. My goal in making this film was to draw attention to the fact that our automated market maker had previously settled on a 62-point consensus. Carrying out this action is not without its hazards. Not in this video, but we will address that in another one. To adopt the clawback option, just 6 more affirmative votes are needed, which is 80% of the vote. The news that 4 validators who have been voting no for a while now expect to move to yes within the next 4 days is one of the most interesting developments. We should get an 80 consensus on it within the next week or 2, so it's safe to assume that the automated market maker and clawbacks will be active in February. This is really exciting stuff. It has to happen soon. I'm dying to see it. In my opinion, XRP is currently experiencing a time of tremendous growth. Thank you for sticking around to watch. This video ought to be entertaining to watch. If anything is unclear or if you have any questions, please let us know in the comment section. I would be delighted to respond to any thoughts you may have. However, before I go into that, allow me to show you this amazing film by Man. Despite the video's length, I highly recommend watching it in its entirety. Do not worry. I will not waste your time by attempting to clarify what they mean. I admire Man for trying to make everyone aware of this, because I think it's vital. Pay attention, this is crucial. What is happening? I don't believe it. Just over 2 months after Judge Torres' ruling that XRP is not a security in and of itself, in accordance with the NHTSA's actions in the state, the New York Department of Financial Services, J, released an updated green list. Though I have lately praised it, The green list maintained by the New York Department of Financial Services stands in stark contrast to that of the SEC. If an exchange is able to send these tokens to people living in New York, they are considered to be on the green list. To list a new one, you must collaborate with us, which is quite logical. It is an excellent plan, in my opinion. Ripple, a cryptocurrency, has been approved. Just over 2 months after Judge Torra's decision that XRP sold on the secondary market is not a security went into effect, XRP was removed from the green list by the New York Department of Financial Services. Trading XRP on any site with a BIT license allowing business within New York is now off-limits to anyone living in the Big Apple. Gary Gensler admitted the loss and acknowledged the letter, thus this seemed strange to me after we discussed every detail, resulting in a humiliating and significant loss. The second state regulator has abruptly announced that it will delist XRPU, despite the fact that it is now clearly not a security. What follows is an illustration of a non sequitur. It is completely illogical. Judge Torra's order would have justified adding it to the green list instead of removing it if it had not already been there. As a result, the New York Department of Financial Services has announced that XRPU is currently unavailable in the Empire State. There should be regulations requiring the government to explain its activities to the public as this individual works for the government. Shortly after that news release, I used the Freedom of Information Act to get in touch with the New York State Department of Financial Services. The Freedom of Information Act, FOIA, is the abbreviation for Freedom of Information Law in the state of New York. Similar to Freedom of Information Act, there is a July deadline. Please provide me with a copy of all correspondence, emails, SMS, voicemails, etc., that relates to the delisting of XRP. All of it is something I desire. Second item, please provide me with any correspondence regarding your decision to delist XRP that you may have had with any federal, state, or international organization. No purpose in continuing when delisting is obvious. This seems accurate to me, however I do have my reservations. I am aware of it because a federal judge in the Manhattan town where you are employed has likewise ruled that it is not a security. Evidently, I was seeking evidence that the SAC had a role in making this decision. My FOIA request has been over a month and still no files have been sent. The fact that they were tardy twice meant that they got to choose when their own due date was postponed. The next deadline is January 31st, which happens to be the last day of this month as well. I have thus hired an experienced lawyer, even though I am a licensed attorney in New York, and I will not let this case be dismissed because of the intricacies involved. Excuse me, Brad, do you happen to know the answer? I was just curious. What on earth could it be? I need to review the documentation to rule out the possibility that someone leaned over and said, "Listen, I know it's embarrassing to remove it from the list since it's obviously no longer a security, but we have to do it because someone over here is applying pressure." Tell me which one. Just give me a clue. It is my intention to ascertain whether or not politics played a role. And if it comes to it, I will not think twice about going to New York court. All this video needs is a brief synopsis of my reasoning for maintaining my bullish outlook on 2024. The trail starts with something I witnessed late last night. In reality, 3.3% was the projected GDP for this quarter. The prospect of a quarterly drop in GDP has been circulating recently. The U.S. economy has once again demonstrated outstanding resilience, despite rumors of a single GDP growth this quarter. A worldwide economic slump and a complete collapse of the stock markets and cryptocurrency were the intended outcomes of extraordinarily high interest rates. But the truth is that individuals who say the world is about to end because the economy is about to crash are completely mistaken. No one can deny that the U.S. economy is resilient. Bitcoin assets should do well in 2019 thanks to the recent improvement in GDP figures. To remain competitive, the U.S. will need to lower interest rates, which is likely to happen later this year. Since a severe recession has evaded us, the prospect of a depression is cause for optimism. The evidence keeps mounting that the bulls were correct, and it's totally unexpected. Even with high borrowing rates, the U.S. economy could manage. Since high interest rates kept inflation at bay, The Federal Reserve can now cut rates, allowing investors to put more money into riskier assets like cryptocurrencies without fear of a global economic collapse. If any of that seems too daunting, don't worry, someone has told us that the needle we're trying to thread is impossible to thread. Initially, our intention was to eradicate all marketplaces. Nevertheless, we have successfully maintained control over the situation. I still don't think it's finished. Although there is certainly more work to be done, the fact that we have reached this point is very remarkable, and I believe that being a contrarian investor can be crucial at times. It was a scenario that favored the bulls. Optimism was lacking among the others. However, did you know what? From this, we can gain. There will be no better summer than this one. We shall see our predictions come true, I believe. I value everyone's presence here, regardless of the circumstances. This update was my earnest wish for your enjoyment. A like and a subscription would be greatly appreciated if you did. This is quite important.